Hi, and welcome to the Sid Waj channel. And I just got back from watching Joker, like hot off the press, just watched it, fresh in my mind, written down some notes, and here we go. Because you guys need to watch this too. Because I just got back, not from just watching the Joker, I just got back from watching a cinematic masterpiece. I got back from watching a movie about a man who gets torn down by society and brings himself back up in the different ways that he notices other people actually see him. There will be spoilers in this video, but let's just get into it. And where to begin? First of all, the laugh. Because the laugh, it starts off in the movie, you hear it and you think, that's kind of an awkward laugh. It's kind of a laugh that it would stand out in a crowd and you'd be like, the fuck is this guy? But now, that laugh it echoes. It echoes when he does it. Every single time you hear it, and you hear different connotations for every time he does that laugh. Sometimes it's him actually laughing. Sometimes they've made it as a disability for him. Because in the movie, spoilers, he's got this disability where he just bursts out into laughing sometimes, and they did this perfectly, where it's if he's actually laughing or if he just can't control himself, and both ways tear him up psychologically, and they did that perfectly. Joaquin Phoenix's performance in this was absolutely amazing. You see him break by every scene, in every single place. They kept the sets, there isn't even 50,000 different sets. He ain't traveling the world in this movie. There's like 4 or 5 different sets in this movie, and they reoccur. They show how trapped his life is, but the way they reoccur, every time he shows up in the same set again, he isn't the same. Take the stairs for example. In the stair scene right here, in fact, in these very stairs, every single time he comes down these stairs, he's different. First, he's just going up them, he's going back home, he's going back from work, his terrible life from getting mugged, he's going down them, sometimes he's running away from the police, he's doing whatever. And there, in this one, he's finally making his transformation, and this one leads to one of the best scenes, in my opinion, in a movie this year. Was the scene where, spoilers, Joker shoots Murray, who Murray is this kind of he's a late night TV show host who Joker idolizes and always has wanted to be part of. You see these kind of dream sequences where he's imagining himself being on Murray's show, and they all build up, as then when you see him featured on Murray's show, but featured as a laughing stock instead of actually being a good point on his show, you see him break down. His idol gets torn down by him, but in his own mind, by his idol. Then when he goes there, it's so well executed. Joaquin Phoenix was on point in this movie. Everyone's acting was amazing in this, but his was on another level compared to everyone's. It was honestly amazing, his performance in this. He executes this scene wonderfully. He defines what the Joker is meant to be. This movie is what the Joker is meant to be. It shows his stripes, his struggles. You see all of it, and you see it all build up to the last 2 scenes where he shoots Murray in a massively, oddly triumphant way, where he's finally built up himself and finally lost it after he died, after his idols left him, and after all of his delusions start breaking apart. And I'll lead on from that. His delusions, he starts off obviously with the odd daydreams, you know, where he's thinking, how would it be if he was on Murray's show? Then he gets on to this woman, and now me and my mate differ on what we think this woman, on the story behind this woman, because he meets her in an elevator, and what I believe is she shows him a sort of, even a slight bit of decency. And when you're mentally, or well, obviously I can only assume, when he's like mentally ill like that and believes the whole world is falling apart and it's getting even worse out there, as he says, any kind of decency, it would tick in your mind that someone's being like that to you. And then I believe that from that, he then starts having these delusions where he believes He's with the woman. He's making out with her. He's going on dates with her. She's coming to see his shows when in reality she was never there in the first place. And that delusion breaks apart when he goes into her house, sits down, and she goes up to him and goes, she comes in and gets jump scared by him, saying he's in the wrong apartment, saying, oh, aren't you Arthur from down the corridor? And my mate believes that maybe the elevator scene didn't even happen. But you know what? The way this movie is filmed, the way the delusions are handled, the way all of the entire movie is handled, it could be interpreted any way. It could literally, you could something completely different. You could believe, I don't know what you could believe, but the way it's executed means that you could believe anything. And you could take this movie at any way. You could take it at face value, or you could take it as a film student, looking at all the brilliant cinematography in it, and it would still be a great movie. Of course, on the point of the woke points, after watching this movie, I didn't feel like killing every woman that said no to me, so I don't see how any person could think this is promoting any incel rage, or promoting anyone to go psycho just because someone was bad to him. And obviously with this girl, she's not even given a name. This woman who he deludes about, she's not even given a name in this. And honestly, next point on, the soundtrack in this is absolutely amazing. There's scenes where he's dancing to himself. Obviously you can see one here, he's dancing to himself. He's doing that's all. He's clearing his mind, he's dancing, he's deluding himself even more. But there's one scene where it's done so beautiful, where it's really extravagant music, and then out of nowhere it becomes really dark, deluded music, really daunting music. It just shows how what he's doing, how his life's getting darker. He's still just dancing, and it's stuff like that. The soundtrack being absolutely amazing, putting the perfect point, transformation. As the last few points, the laughter, as I said, was amazing. Honestly, it would par, if not better, than Heath Ledger's Joker. And this Joker moving forward, I don't see this Joker with a Harley Quinn. If Margot Robbie is still Harley Quinn, this Joker ain't being with her at all. I just don't see that. Maybe the one way I could see it is if she's obsessing over him, and he's just having none of it, trying to kill her and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't see this Harley Quinn with this Joker, unless they do like a hard reboot or anything like that. But what I do want to see, even though from what we've seen this Joker would be very old and would be running around, excuse me, but I would love to see Robert Pattinson versus this Joker, because instead of as my mate said, there wouldn't be many fight scenes. You wouldn't see Joaquin Phoenix throwing right hooks and stuff like that. There wouldn't be many of those scenes. It would more be just from the side of a mentally deranged man with a cult following being attacked by a man dressed in a bat suit trying to beat the living shit out. And I think that could be done beautifully with Joaquin Phoenix's performance, with however Robert Pattinson hopefully ends up being a good Batman. I think it'll be amazing. Hopefully they don't just all out scrap this movie, be like, oh, it happened now there's a different Joker, and give it another reboot. That would probably be the worst thing that could happen. But for now, that was my thoughts on the Joker. That's why you should go and watch the Joker. And on should you watch, for the should you watch score, yes, definitely. It's not even a question. It's not a if you have the time, if you've got the spare money. This is a watch. It's an absolutely amazing movie, and it's done brilliantly. Those were my opinions on the Joker. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like on the video if you liked it. Subscribe to check out my other content. You don't have to ring the bell. It just means a lot if you subscribe. And see ya.
That's why I treat these hoes the way I treat them.